Welcome to another session of Spirits and Monsters of Old Seattle. When last we left our brave investigators, I had done the unthinkable. Listener, I split the party. I know. Sophie is headed off to Norway to pay respect to her departed family, and also to do some detailed investigation into mysterious things about these runes. Meanwhile, Matthias had decided to give her companions a little bit of a relaxing vacation, offering them a all-expenses-paid trip on behalf of the library to the town of Crescent Bay, far north of Seattle, where I'm sure it will be completely relaxing and be a super boring trip for all of us. Of course, if that was happening, we probably wouldn't be featuring it on the podcast.
Aw.
Bad news, Bill. Shit's going down.
Why can't we just have a nice, relaxing vacation, Brian?
Mystery is, how are we going to drink
sorry,
all these drinks?
just to clarify, you said an all-expenses-paid trip to Crescent Bay? There's no reason I'm asking, but okay.
Mm-hmm. I mean, as someone who is literally filthy rich, you don't need to have your expenses paid for you.
I think because he's filthy rich, that means he's looking forward to having all expenses paid.
That's how the filthy rich stay filthy rich, is they get other people to pay for all their stuff.
Wait a minute, who is this new voice that we suddenly had?
Oops. Uh-oh.
We are joined through this mystery by a very special guest. The amazing and wonderful Zach is going to be joining us.
Hi there, I'm Zach Adair, he, him. I've been playing RPGs since college, mostly D&D 5th ed. Touch a little bit on some Vaesen, some of that fancy sci-fi fantasy one, whose name that I can't remember.
Numenera?
Yes, thank you, Luminaire. That's the one. Yeah, just all around big nerd. So
Factual.
Be kind.
Factual.
Please be kind.
So Zach is going to be joining us for this entire mystery while Erin takes a much-deserved break. And she will be coming back to the show on our follow-up mystery and hopefully finding all of her companions alive.
Man, you just got to put that out into the world like that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Every time. Every time.
Not if I have anything to say about it.
You know, I threaten them every single mystery, and they keep surviving.
I mean, but now they have 2 DMs.
Oh, I should also add, dear listener, Zach is mostly a game master and not a player.
Yeah.
So this is doubly exciting for him because he actually gets to be a participant and doesn't have to run anything.
I know. I don't have to do any of the work. It's so great.
Brian, you say that, everyone's fine. You keep threatening us, but we're suddenly down one podcast member and we have to get a replacement. So I feel more nervous now, actually.
Probably.
I mean, Erin's fine. She's definitely not on a mysterious trip up near Bellingham, facing who knows what.
Oh, no.
She's on a farm upstate, just running and playing all the
All right, enough bullshitting. Let me be at a caveat for now, and let's dive into this news story. Now, as our brave investigators are preparing to set off, a carriage is going to be pulling up to the library, and from there, we'll be whisking them off to the beautiful town of Crescent Bay. But before they go, they've got a little bit of preparation to do. Julian and Dr. Jensen were meeting here at the library, and old Agda was very excited to show you something that has been worked on here at the library.
Ooh.
She wheels her chair down and heads into a room, kind of leading you all along with Thorn, her dog. We've been working on something very exciting. I've been talking to some of our other investigators who have been bringing back some interesting items. we've put together a little bit of a workshop, you see, storing some of the useful trinkets that come back. Given that you're all going to be traveling quite far away, if you wanted to take something out of our inventory, you could certainly feel free to do so. And she unlocks a padlock on a door and shows you into a room where they have been constructing strange trinkets and collecting numerous charms and oddities. You see old family Bibles, crosses made of different materials, elf mills that are small stones with a rounded bowl at their center. All kinds of odd knickknacks that might help protect you out in the field. You have purchased the Occult Workshop Development last mystery, and this will allow you to bring an item of power with you on each subsequent mystery. Now, listener, I'm not going to bore you by reading you the stats of every single item, and also if I don't, it'll let me make up more later on. I think Phoenix had his eye on one item in particular. Is there something that Julian wants to bring with him?
Yeah, kind of taking a look through the various knickknacks here, and I'm not entirely convinced taking a look at books, strange metal crucifix. This might just be Sophie's room. I'm not sure. But Agda's telling me this is new. I will believe her. And, we have got a long trip ahead of us, and being the good Catholic boy that I am, clearly... What? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take one of those Bibles for some light reading.
Excellent.
Bible's truly the most occult of occult objects.
It's well known.
Yeah.
Julian is, I'm sure, digging through it looking for some original sins.
Oh, the best ones.
So, the family Bible will give Julian a bonus to his fear tests.
Not that I need any help with those or anything, but, my faith is my shield.
Someone else's faith is your shield.
That'll work too.
Now, speaking of, I believe Julian has some advantages that he's bringing forward into this mystery. Both you and Dr. Jensen got advantages based on the Christmas gifts you exchanged last mystery. And you also have one that you are adding for this mystery. Can you run through all of your many advantages for us?
Sure. Yeah, so the two that you mentioned, as far as the gift giving, Sophie got me that wonderful, beautiful sweater. And so I now have an advantage of homespun charm. And then Dr. Jensen and I kind of were of a similar mind on gifts for each other. I mean, the gift I gave him was better, but of course it was. So we both gave each other some hotables, and I think we have each received now a toast to friends as our advantage. Now, Brian, you mentioned to us earlier that one is a little special. Do we want to touch on that here?
This will be a good one to keep in mind. Both of those advantages are going to be non-expiring, so you can use them in later mysteries. And if you use a toast to friends just as a normal advantage, you'll get a +2 bonus on your die roll. Or, if you explicitly use it to help Dr. Jensen, he will instead get 1 automatic success at whatever he's trying. Similarly, Dr. Jensen can use a toast to friends for Julian to give him 1 automatic success.
All right. That's pretty awesome.
And then for my non-bonus advantage here, so I've come into some money. Things are going well. Everything's coming up, Julian. And with the recording contracts and my wax cylinder recordings making their way far and wide, I am taking the advantage of, don't you know who I am?
Which is hilarious that you're leaving town and people actually won't.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Far and wide.
And Bill, what are the advantages that you are going to be bringing this mystery?
Well, so we already touched on a toast to friends, so
Mhm.
I have that as well. Through my gift giving with Sophie, because of it was the whiskey barrel aged cheddar, I now have stout as a whiskey barrel advantage, which is fantastic. I still want whiskey barrel aged cheddar. Like that is now a thing. Thanks to Aaron that I have to find now. But I digress. For my advantage for this mystery, I'm gonna kind of continue a little bit along the lines of from the interlude there with Dr. Jensen having his medical practice up and running, and so he now is going to have the advantage. A practice makes perfect to just try, since he's now getting to kind of regularly utilize and kind of flex his medical knowledge and helping out the communities with that.
Excellent. Now, while we have not met Zach's character yet, do you want to tell us what your advantage is, or hold that as a secret for now?
I think it's probably best to hold that as a secret for the time being.
Ooh. All right. I'm going to peek at
Yes,
what
you
it is,
absolutely
because
should.
I get to do that.
Yeah.
Because I've got access to everybody's character sheets.
Yes, you do.
Is your advantage I shoot Julian?
I mean, who would that be an advantage for, though? I don't think it'd be advantage on the mystery. It might be advantage to me.
The advantage coming for the king.
Yeah, I could come for your job.
Listen, no spoilers. It's definitely not Step to the Throne.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be crazy.
Why would you even think it would be that?
Far and wide.
Not only far, but also
Far
wide.
and wide.
All right. Now, with advantages figured out, we also took care of all of our equipment shopping. Listener, as always, you have benefited from us not having recorded that part. There was a lot of, oh, maybe I'll take this. Oh, what about this? Don't even worry about it.
So much math. So much math.
So, we are not going to worry about equipment stuff. We're just going to get right into it. The trip from Ballard up to Crescent Bay will take 2 days by carriage. A pair of fast and sturdy horses gallop along the road, keeping a steady pace, racing north. You share meals, read books, maybe Julian even tries to read some of the Bible, and watch the countryside travel by. You follow miles of rail tracks, which seem to point toward a future when this trip might be done in a matter of hours instead of days. But for now, you're able to enjoy some peace and quiet as your journey takes you further north. You stop for the night at the town of Mount Vernon along the Skagit River. A light snow has begun to drift down, and you join your driver at a roadhouse for a meal. You spend your evening chatting, stretching some sore muscles, and getting a good night's sleep without needing to worry about ghosts, monsters, or spirits. As you set off in the morning, you're a few hours out from Mount Vernon when you spot a man trudging along the roadside ahead of you through the snow. The driver slides a window open and calls back, "It's terrible cold weather out. You lads mind if we slow down and offer this fellow a ride?"
I'm in no rush, and he does look cold out there. Dr. Jensen, what say you?
No, there's no reason to leave the man destitute on the side of the road in this weather. And yeah, if you're fine with it, Julian, I'm more than happy to.
Oh, he would be joining us in here. Oh, yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
I guess he doesn't necessarily have to if he's going to stay with the driver.
The carriage slows down with your only slightly begrudging assent, and the driver calls out to him, and the man hops up and climbs inside. He is an older gentleman with a thick, at this point, gray beard. Has a few traces of blonde here and there. He is in a heavy wrapped coat with a knitted cap atop his head and has a walking stick. He surveys the pair of you, I'm sorry to trouble you. It was going to be quite a long travel back up to Crescent Bay.
Oh, you're heading up to Crescent Bay. What an amazing coincidence. We happen to be going that way ourselves.
He offers a hand to you. My name is Lighthouse Keeper Magnus London.
I guess Lucius will kind of reach out. Nice to meet you, Magnus, and kind of give a firm handshake. Here, this might help with a little bit of the cold. He'll take out his flask and hand it over to give him a nip to try to warm up a little bit.
You're a kind soul. Thank you. Thank you much.
And I assume I need no introduction, and I just kind of nod over towards my violin case. But just to be polite, I'm Julian, Julian Benavides, performer, fiddler. I'm sure you've. That's fine. Welcome aboard. It's good to have you here, Magnus.
Should I have heard of you?
Oh, Lord.
I mean, I suppose it depends on the circles you travel in. It's, you know what, we can talk about it on the way. We've got plenty of time to go over these details.
And so you have a trapped audience to regale with stories about your fine performances and your exciting new wax cylinder contract.
Mm-hmm.
Magnus shares that he had been traveling down to Mount Vernon to pick up some additional supplies, including more kerosene and lamp oil, as he is the sole tender of the lighthouse up at Crescent Bay. The town is fairly quiet this time of year. This is a small fishing community, so the winters it tends to be pretty shut down, but the lighthouse still needs fuel.
It's just a shame you must travel so far, given especially the time of year and the weather.
Well, the storm, there was not nearly so much snow when I started the walk. Unfortunately, but it is beginning to drift down a bit more up here.
Sorry, Brian, I just thought of something here. So it's going to take us 2 days by carriage. This guy is trudging round trip. Does that strike me as odd?
If he doesn't have any kind of horse or anything else, walking's the only way he's going to have to travel.
All right.
It might be odd for you for how the pores travel, but...
I was once like you.
You started at Resources 5.
I was once only slightly better than you.
Julian's the worst. So the three of you make kind of light conversation as he warms up in the carriage. He's a little bit gruff, a little bit kind of rough-edged, but you suppose that's not too surprising from a lighthouse keeper who spends most of his time alone. Dr. Jensen feels right at home.
Kindred spirit, I understand him.
Do y'all mention that you're going to be staying at the hotel up there?
I think it would probably come out, especially if Julian's regaling us with entertainment and stories.
You know, I am, and yet as I hear you and Magnus really kind of, clicking, I'm actually going to take a little bit of a backseat on this one. I'm going to be like, wow, I'm going to let him have this one.
He's making a friend.
He's making a friend. This is, I am just beside myself. There is a big smile that I am trying to hide by just, taking a handkerchief up to my face and trying to hide my smile. But this is fantastic.
I think if Lucius would occasionally catch you with a big smile, he'd just kind of look at you like, is everything okay, Julian?
I'm just thinking about your bedside manner, and yes, everything's wonderful. Carry on.
Oh, all right then. He'll slowly kind of just turn back to Magnus to continue talking.
And he chats. Most of the topics are things about, like, ships, about the local weather, kind of some basic small talk things. The trip is fairly nice. You definitely want to keep your windows closed because it's awful chilly out there, but the horses race along. And by late afternoon, the sun is starting to dip a little bit, but you all are arrived at Crescent Bay. Magnus parts ways from the stagecoach station and is tromping off towards the lighthouse after saying goodbye to you all.
Thanks for riding with us, Magnus. Stay warm.
He gives you a solid nod, hefts a hefty pack onto his back, full of likely lighthouse oil, and tromps off into the hills to the northwest. The two of you also remember, before you had left, you had been informed by old Agda that a contact of hers was up here. She had been exchanging letters with a woman named Olga. And Olga Kraus is an old friend of hers. She had actually been a former member of the library and has the site. Agda had written to Olga, and Olga was going to meet you all at the stagecoach station.
Do we see Olga around?
You give a quick look as the snow is kind of lightly falling. You don't see someone who matches her description. She's an older woman in her late 40s, early 50s, slightly heavy set with still dark black hair and very striking features, but there's no sign of her around.
Is there, like, a worker?
You look around, you actually see a couple of people who are loitering, hanging out under a little eave, smoking.
I will confidently walk up to them and, hello there, friends. Hey, just obviously got off the carriage here. You wouldn't happen to know an Olga Kraus, would you? She was to meet us here. Haven't seen her. You don't happen to know her, do you?
Oh, Olga. Oh, she's not staying at that hotel, is she?
I don't know. What hotel would that be?
There's only one hotel in town, friend.
Well, I mean, I knew that, but yes, just making sure.
You don't want to be staying there.
Wait, what?
That place.
I'm gonna wave to Dr. Jensen. Doctor, come join me here for a moment. These fine gentlemen are telling me about the hotel we're staying at.
So Dr. Jensen.
Oh, you're staying there? Oh, no.
Maybe not after all, but,
What's the problem?
Now, friend, that hotel is a blight on this town. You wouldn't know it now during the winter, but during the summer months, that place is a den of sin. It draws all kinds of disreputable characters to this town. Canadians, Frenchmen, and worse.
Is there anything worse than Frenchmen? I mean,
French Canadians.
oh god. Oh god.
I have seen down by the seaside men and women in bathing costumes frolicking together. He takes another long pull of his cigarette.
Lucius will kind of cock an eyebrow and then turn to Julian. Well, we must certainly keep our wits about us if we're in such a infamous location.
Yes, I know for some that would not be much of a shock, but for someone as pure and innocent as I, a den of iniquity, that sounds... My goodness. Thank you so much, my friends.
One of his friends kind of like elbows him in the ribs a little bit. Yeah, sure would be a shame if something happened to that hotel, huh? And they all kind of chuckle. Yeah, sure would be a shame if it burned down suddenly.
Yes. Yes, I guess that would be a shame. Julian, I think we might need to be on our way.
Well, much as I would love to continue this conversation with a couple of stand-up gentlemen such as yourselves, we will take our leave.
As you depart, can I get a vigilance test from you guys?
Sure.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, I just went ahead and rolled in Roll20 for the first time since you've given me my fancy magic dice, and now I remember why I have not used Roll20 since you gave me my dice. That is 0 success on 4 Roll20 dice.
This episode not sponsored by Roll20.
Well, on my 8 dice, I at least have 2 successes.
All right.
That's the man I know and love.
So the pair of you are walking away from the local toughs, and you catch them kind of muttering about something. They are talking about the hotel's owner, a woman named Catherine. One of them mentions that she is a terrible person, and another mentions they're glad that she's gone.
Lucius will kind of come briefly to a stop. Oh. I'm probably going to regret this. We kind of turn around. What was that you said about the owner disappeared? Is everything okay at the hotel? Impropriety aside.
The 3 kids kind of exchange looks between each other. Why are you listening to people that are not talking to you? You one of them out-of-town listening kind of people?
He'll just kind of tilt his head at the young man, kind of quizzically. Young man, you are aware how ears work, yes?
They exchange a look between them. Yeah?
And clearly you understand how your voice works, yes?
One of them's kind of like putting his pinky into his ear and pulling a bunch of wax out. Yeah?
So you fine gentlemen clearly understand that when you make a noise, and there are others around you that have ears, he'll kind of lean a little closer. They can hear you.
The 3 of them kind of scoff together and turn and start walking away from you out into the snow. You just hear them go, out-of-towners. Tourists.
And he'll just kind of, in a loud voice, and have a good afternoon. You see how you heard that?
All of them flip you off.
Good lads. He'll turn back to Julian. All right.
Seeing them flipping you off, I have not been eavesdropping on the conversation because apparently my ears do not work that well. But there's that Dr. Lucius Jensen charm. What was that all about?
The kids were muttering something about the owner of the hotel. I think I heard her, Kathy. That colorful language aside, that they do not like her. They were also glad that she is now gone. And I just can't help but have a concern.
So we just got here. We've had one group of folks talking about how it'd be a real shame if our hotel burned down. And now we got a group of kids saying that, oh, it's a real shame that Kathy's gone missing?
Same group.
Oh, same group. Pardon me.
The toughs contain multitudes.
Mm-hmm.
Easy mistake to make.
All right, so what are the pair of you going to do?
Well, Olga isn't here. I'm assuming we can kind of, if we look around, we can see generally where the hotel is.
Yeah, this is very clearly a small fishing town that has suddenly had a single large prosperous building. So finding the hotel is quite easy. It's the only 3-floor building in the entire village.
Is there anyone else other than these toughs that kind of gave us some attitude? Anyone else around?
Not at the carriage depot.
Ah,
there was just the driver.
I was going to look for someone to carry my bags for me, but that's all right.
Tragically, you just have Dr. Jensen.
You can't afford his rates.
You're right. You're right. There is no price that could replace your friendship.
But I guess Lucius will kind of just look to Julian. Well, if we don't know where Olga is, we might as well just head to the hotel.
Indeed. Let us away.
The snow begins to come down a little bit heavier. Despite how close you are to the water, you are much further north than you were down in Seattle and Ballard. And it is colder here. You kind of wind your way through the town, headed towards the large hotel. The place is partially lit up. There are candles in a number of the windows. There are wreaths of spruce and boughs of fir trees that have been decorated over the doors and over the windows. And you see there are several sheafs of wheat that have been put up as well. It's a classic Christmas kind of decoration. Do you all head inside?
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, it doesn't apart from the decorations, it doesn't look like there's much of any activity outside. Correct?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Do I notice any iniquity?
Not presently. You'll have to get inside to explore for iniquity.
Okay, that's a shame, but
Mm-hmm.
I have high hopes.
No? I hope that they are satisfied. You open up the door to the hotel, and there's a gentle tinkle of a bell. And after a moment, a young woman comes bustling in. Oh, I'm so sorry. Good evening. Good evening. How can I help you? Are you Julian and Dr. Lucius Jensen?
Deep sweeping bow. I am. And he is.
You've just been waiting the entire trip for someone to say that to you, haven't you?
I don't know what you're talking about, as I am nodding slightly.
I had received notice
Yes,
ahead that
we should have, yes.
we've got some rooms for you here. My name is Lisa Stevenson.
Nice to meet you, Lisa.
Yes, a pleasure to meet you. A brief aside, you wouldn't happen to know an Olga, and I forgot the last name. Sorry.
Pardon my friend. He sometimes gets a little tongue-tied around beautiful women. We're looking for an Olga Kraus.
She flushes beet red as you say that. Yes, Olga's here. Olga's staying here. She and 3 friends of hers, they're painters. I believe they're upstairs at the moment. Her suite is right in the top corner after you go up the stairs. You're visiting from out of town, I assume. Of course you are. Can I ask you a question? I don't want to impose.
You just did.
Sorry, just on your way up here, did you happen to see a woman? About yayish height with dark hair, tied back, very well dressed?
No.
Not since leaving Ballard, no. I don't suppose that's Kathy
Catherine.
you're describing?
Oh dear. She's the owner of the hotel, right?
Catherine Johnson, yes, she's the one who built this place. Well, had it built, she didn't build it by hand. She's been missing for about a week now.
That's no, we were not. We did hear some of the colorful local folk reference her briefly, but no, we never saw her.
She's a good person, and this hotel has been very successful. I think it's just that the people in town don't necessarily like change.
Understandable.
I'm sorry, I've gotten off topic. You're asking about Olga. Yeah, she's been here about 2 weeks now. She and that group of artists she's with, they're all a little bit strange. They've all been just staying in her room for the last few days.
I arch an eyebrow.
Have you but you have seen her like today. She has been around and
I'm not certain. I've been running around. I'm one of our only staff members right now. Me and our groundskeeper.
Lucius will kind of turn to Julian. Do you think that's a little bit concerning? I mean, coupled with the owner missing and now our contact not meeting us at arrival. Is there something we need to be worrying about?
I let out a bit of a sigh, and then I turned back briefly to Lisa. Lisa, pardon me for asking. The name Matthias, does that mean anything to you? I don't suppose he... Oh, how would I... He didn't put you up to this, did he?
He wrote us a check for your room. He said all expenses paid.
Well, yes, that's lovely. Have you ever worked with him before?
No.
Okay, thank you very much. Doctor, let's continue this conversation. Why don't we go ahead and head to our room? Can you, Lisa, guide us there or hand us the keys?
Of course. Yeah, no, I've got the keys right here for you. And I suppose if you're looking for Olga, you could always knock on her suite door.
That'd be fantastic. What suite is she in?
She's able to show you. She kind of takes you up the stairs. You are given some very nice rooms. And she points out down the hall where Olga's suite is. Given the time of year, this place is not quite as popping as it would be during the summer. But they've set up a beautiful little Christmas tree inside. They've got it decorated with some ribbons. They've got a roaring fire going in their fireplace. The whole thing is very kind of cozy.
This is 21st century Phoenix not knowing what the appropriate behavior would be here. Should I be tipping this person?
You probably don't need to, but given the nature of who Julian is, he totally might.
Then I will.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my! Thank you. That's incredibly generous.
You're doing a hard job. I appreciate everything you've done. Let us know if there's if you have any news on Olga or Catherine. I'd hate to think that something has gone wrong there, but if there's anything we can do for you, please let us know as well.
She nods, and then she pauses for a moment. She kind of looks around, looks down at the door for Olga's suite that looks back at you. I wouldn't normally say anything, but since you mentioned you know Olga, I thought I would just mention those artists she's with are very strange. They all wear black. They said they came out to paint scenes of the winter seas. But the couple of paintings I've seen are terrible. I don't know what's going on, but there's something strange about them.
Well, art is a subjective thing.
I shouldn't have said anything, I'm sorry.
Maybe when I have a chance to see her, I'll let you know what I think of them as well, but I wouldn't be too concerned about it. Who hasn't gone through that gothic phase? I'm sure it's fine.
Did Olga arrive with these friends at the same time, or did they become acquainted here at the hotel?
Oh no, they all arrived together.
Well, then we just might have to go see.
Of course. And let me know whenever you're getting ready to have a meal, and I'll get something prepped. And when you're getting ready to turn in, we'll see to it that we've got warmers for your beds so that it's nice and toasty for you. Let us know anything we can do, or that I can do. Oh God, I hope Catherine comes back soon. I can't run this place. Elisa kind of squeaks, realizing she just said that, and scurries down the stairs.
After she's kind of down the stairs, Lucius will just kind of turn to Julian. We're about to be in something deep, aren't we?
You don't think Matthias, he's always been nice, but in all expenses, he wouldn't. Did he?
Lucius will just kind of, well, on one hand, I'd like to think that he's better than that. On the other, I could easily see him wanting us to just do this so that we are solving yet another trouble for the library.
That rapscallion.
Well, I mean, we're here. I hope it is for what we came for, but I think we need to check on Olga.
Yeah, let me drop off my things and let's go. We can go meet Agda's friend. Did you know that Agda had friends?
All right, so
I'll go drop off my things
and
and meet Dr. Jensen down at the suite.
All right. The rooms are, by the way, very, very nice. You have rooms on opposite sides of the hall. So Julian has a view out to the sea. It's getting into evening at this point, so the sun is starting to go down, but you can see the lighthouse in the distance with that kind of beam of light going out over the Crescent Bay. You can see snow falling across the various kind of rocky terrain. It is quite beautiful. Bill, on Dr. Lucius's side, you're able to see kind of rolling hills, crags, some cedar forests with, again, that light fall of snow. And you can see the town kind of wrapping around the edge of where the window shows.
Okay.
I don't suppose there's a balcony, is there?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. I will, again, put all my stuff down. I will walk out to the balcony and just take in a deep breath of air.
It's got that cold, chilly winter feel to it, so it feels like your lungs are just straining a little bit, and it feels so crisp and clean.
So fresh, so clean.
So fresh and so clean.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'll drop off my stuff and again go meet Dr. Jensen.
Excellent.
And yeah, as soon as Julian's ready, Lucius will go find Olga's suite.
Mm-hmm. It's right down at the end of the hall. Walking up to the door, you rap on it a couple of times, and definitely hear some movement from behind it, and some quiet whispered voices. And then after just a moment, the door is opened. A woman with a very thin, drawn face, very full black hair, answers the door. Who are you?
Does this woman match the description of Olga?
Nope. Definitely looks different.
How wide is the door open? Is it just like she's like a crack and she's kind of there? Or
Yeah, it's just a crack. Like she's just sticking her face out.
Oh, hi. I'm sorry. Maybe I have the wrong room. We were looking for Olga. I don't suppose Olga's in there. We're friends of Agda's.
And as you say that, you hear some kind of light conversation from behind her. The door opens a little wider, and you see two more women look out. The youngest one is very fresh-faced, has blonde hair and a cute little hat pinned to her hair. There is a middle-aged woman, very broad-shouldered, heavy-set, with what clearly must be a corset on under that dress. And this third woman who has the very pinched, narrow facial features and who has very tired-looking eyes. Oh, you know Olga. Are you friends with her? You said Agda?
Yes, pardon, I'm sorry. I haven't actually met Olga before, but Agda is a mutual friend, and she told us when we came up this way to get in touch with Olga. We were actually supposed to meet her at the carriage station. I take it you're friends of hers then?
The heavy-set woman nods. We are. Are you Julian and you Dr. Jensen, is that right?
I am, and he is.
Olga mentioned in her last letter from Agda that you would be coming up this way. I think that she went out to go see you, but it was only a little while ago.
Oh.
How...
I imagine she might be headed to the carriage station now.
Are you familiar with the surrounding area?
Passably.
More just asking if there's more than one route to the hotel.
There's a few winding streets. A few alleys here and there between some of the different houses, the inns and such.
This is a long shot, Brian, but we were able to see the hotel from the carriage station. Mm-hmm. If I look out a window, I don't suppose I can see the carriage station from here.
Not with the amount of snow coming down.
Okay.
Between the hour and the snow, it's getting harder to see, and this town does not have any streetlights.
Okay.
How truthful does this woman seem to be?
Bill, can I get an observation test from you?
Shit.
I don't suppose this is something I could get in on as well.
I will allow you to assist if you'd like, giving him a +1 bonus.
Well, there you go. It's the best I got for you, Doc.
Out of 3 dice, no successes.
Do you want to push that roll? Now, I'll add to this, Bill, since Phoenix helpfully pointed this out. If you fail an observation roll, they learn something about you.
God. We're 15 minutes into the adventure and I'm already going to be broken.
Before you answer that, Bill, Brian, may I propose a toast to my friend Lucius?
Using that already?
I mean, that's what it's for.
Mm-hmm.
This seems like it's important.
Absolutely. So, Julian can kind of, place a comforting hand on Dr. Jensen's back. I'm just like, you got this, Doc. Think about all those glasses that we shared together.
Think about the whiskey.
And something about that does kind of jog Dr. Jensen's memory. And there's something about her story and her face that doesn't add up as you talked about, do you know the area? She's definitely holding stuff back. And she is familiar, not just with the town, but with the surrounding countryside. That's what I'll give you for now.
Lucius will kind of just he'll make a note of that, more to mention to Julian when they're by themselves. You said Olga left a little while ago.
Maybe 10 minutes ago?
10 minutes ago. Ryan, how long have we roughly been here at the hotel?
Probably about 5-10 minutes getting settled in. You get the sense it was she left just before you got here.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, that is a concern if we missed our connection, but given the issue with the missing hotel owner, I'm just understandably a little concerned for our contact.
Maybe you should go check on her? She said she was going to go find you at the carriage station.
Well, when we came into the hotel, is there a common area, bar,
oh yeah,
or something down at the base level?
Mm-hmm.
We could do that, but I'd hate to, especially with the weather getting as bad as it is, I'd hate to just pass her in the snow. It would be unfortunate that she went out there and was unable to find us, but I'm sure she'll be back. We must have just missed her. Would you care to join us for a drink downstairs?
The three kind of pause for a brief moment, and then the youngest woman kind of shakes her head. I'm afraid we've had quite a long day, trying to get the right light to do our artwork by, but maybe tomorrow?
A fellow artist! Oh, fantastic! I'm sure you've probably heard of some of my recordings. I'm more of a musical artist, but I heard that Olga came with some painters. Can I see your work? I'd love to take a peek.
Oh, it's still very much in process, but Mr. Benavides, and she gently takes your hand. It would mean the world to us if you could check in on Olga. If something happened to Catherine, who runs this place, we're a little worried something could happen to us out in town.
Oh, well, very well. Dr. Jensen, once more back out into the storm?
You'll kind of pause for a second. Yes.
Hate for her to catch a chill.
Well, let's go down to the bar and fortify ourselves for the weather, and then we might head
Classic Dr. Jensen.
Well, more I want to talk to Julian and not be in front of these three weirdos.
He's in shorts and a t-shirt, but he is warm on the inside.
So before you depart, these three weirdos do give you their names.
Mm-hmm.
The youngest of them, who has that little pinned hat, is named Josephine Adler. The large set woman, who has been watching Dr. Jensen with very hungry eyes, is named Clara Berg. And the woman with the very drawn, thin face is introduced as Michelle Pazder. She seems very spacey, and you several times catch her kind of staring off into the middle distance. So the three of you part ways and head down to the hotel bar.
Is there a bartender, or is it just kind of like we're left to our devices with?
There's a bartender during the summer. If Lisa kind of spots you, she will happily come rushing over to see if there's anything that you need. And she could definitely make any drinks for you here.
If I see her coming, I don't know how this will go, but I'm about to find out. If I do see her noticing us, this poor woman is trying to run this entire establishment on her own. I'm just going to put up my hand, wave her off. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I got this. And I will just take up station behind the bar myself. Hey, all expenses paid. She's got nothing to worry about.
That's fair.
That is a fair point. Actually, I had forgotten about that.
So you are easily able to make yourselves a couple of quick drinks to prepare yourselves before heading out into the cold.
Lucius will, while Julian's mixing his drinks, kind of convey like the, by the way, I think there's something those three friends of Olga are hiding from us, and he'll kind of share what he picked up on through talking with them. We might need to be careful of them.
Well, they're certainly hiding their art. Lisa might have picked up on, you know what, maybe it really is that bad.
But if it's that bad, what are they here for?
Yeah, I don't know.
And given that they arrived with Olga, something seems very odd about this. I mean, more so than we've already kind of established.
Well, but so far, we only think they arrived with Olga because Lisa you don't think Lisa's in on it with Matthias, do you?
No, not her.
All right.
But maybe.
Well, I apologize for the swill that passes as liquor in this establishment, but here you are.
They actually have some nice brands. They have the type of things that Julian would actually order for himself.
I apologize for the type of... Oh, wait. Never mind. I just had to... This is the well. There's the good stuff.
I like to think that it would be stuff that Julian normally would be happy to order. Now he's just like, oh, this is so lowbrow now.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, Julian is still giving you swill, but he's getting the good stuff for himself.
You know what? No, I'm gonna put a pin in that because no. After the amount that I spent on that phonograph for the library, I am getting Dr. Jensen the most expensive stuff that I can find because this is on Matthias's dime.
That's true. That's true.
You are earning the full, all expenses paid.
Oh yeah.
All expenses paid and made.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So should we bundle up and see if we can?
I'm not a fan of it, but I don't know what much else we can do. We just need to be. It's just snowing heavily outside. It's not like whiteout conditions.
No.
Okay. Then yeah, we just need to be careful.
If we were to tie a rope around ourselves and hang and anchor the other to the doorknob of the establishment.
This is in D&D. Not everyone has 50 feet of rope.
I use a 10-foot pole to push you towards the plot.
Give me a longer pole to that.
That's what she said.
Heyo.
God damn it.
Jokes.
All right. The pair of you head out.
We do.
Heading back to the carriage depot.
Do we see our own tracks that we might have made on the way in?
Nope. It's coming down enough that it's actually filled that in.
Okay.
I wasn't paranoid about that until you brought that up, and now you're making me wonder too. But it's fine. It's fine.
Are we stuck in another time loop?
It can't always be time loops, Bill. So, you crunch your way through the snow, kind of following the street. Thankfully, you've got a hurricane lantern with you, so you're able to kind of light up the night as this drifting snow kind of blocks the view of most things. Everything is perfectly quiet in a way that it can only be during a snowfall. And on the edges of your lantern light, Bill, as you get to that carriage depot, you're first able to see that the carriage has already left. And then you see the steam rising up from the ground. And you smell it. There's blood.
Julian, come here, and I will start moving towards wherever I start. I guess if I first pick up the scent, I'll just start moving more in that direction if it's there, and start trying to use the lantern to see around in the snow if there's any discoloration.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't take long. You find Olga's body. It has been split from groin to clavicle in half.
My God.
The snows are filled with blood. Can I get a fear test from both of you?
I was waiting for that.
Phoenix, good news. You get a bonus.
I do. So, Madre de Dios, with my devout faith and the Bible that I brought along, I get to add my inspiration to fear checks, thankfully.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is this a fear test relating to the...
a dead body?
Eviscerated corpse in front of me?
It sure is. It sure is.
So I get a +2 for my army medic.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. All right, that is for Julian 3 success on 11 dice.
And for Lucius, that is 2 success on 9 dice.
All right. You both don't quite know what it says about the lives you are being forced to lead, but seeing a human corpse split like a wishbone unsettles you, but doesn't terrify you.
Are there any tracks around the body?
There are not. There are not tracks of Olga, and there are not tracks of whatever killed her. Bill, can I get an investigation test from you as you're checking this body out?
Alright.
May I, as you are doing that investigation, can I hand over... I've seen Dr. Jensen not necessarily do this, because what the shit is this? But I do know that he does like to sometimes jot down notes, and I did bring some writing utensils and paper. Is this something that I could... this would be a +1 to investigation?
Let me just check pen and paper real quick.
Writing utensils, yeah.
Oh, writing utensils, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Bill, that could also give you a +1.
Okay. Thank you, Phoenix.
Holy shit, dude!
Well...
How'd it go?
That is on 11 dice, 0 success. And yes, Brian, I would like to push that.
I didn't even get to ask anymore. It's like they don't want me to have fun.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, that was the paper I already doodled on. Here, flip the page.
Okay. Take 2.
For fuck's sake.
Uh,
These are the roles that I had at the beginning of our campaign.
Did I mention it's been on this kind of day? Because I pushed that roll.
I think
and
you
11
did.
more dice. Still no successes.
Phoenix really should have held on to that, give you one more success for free. You were apparently going to need it during this adventure.
Oh, bother. I will given this scenario with no tracks, nothing around it, and apparently I can't make heads or tails of any of this, I'm gonna go with frightened.
Now, Dr. Jensen is grudgingly or not, somewhat a scholar of death. He has seen a lot of injuries and deceased people on the battlefield. He's never seen anything like this. This is terrible. Something horrific has happened here, and he has seen people get hit by cannonballs that were less destructive than this.
Julian, I think we're in trouble.
Yes, I would agree. I concur, as you would say. This is... Doctor... What would do something... What's capable of doing something like this?
Well, I guess I don't know. I don't even know if I have the right to ask this question, given my roles, but I will ask it to the GM anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Just looking at the corpse, you said it was split from groin to collarbone.
Mm-hmm.
Is it would it look like it's a cut or a tear? Was the flesh pulled apart, or does the flesh look like it's been split or cut?
I will give you this. It looks cut.
Okay. So back to with Julian just saying, I have no idea what would cause this. The amount of time, the amount of effort, none of this makes sense. I don't, and just to have, he kind of just, you can see that he's just kind of sitting there, just runs his hands through his hair.
Now, can I get a vigilance test from both of you?
I was just about to ask if I noticed anyone looking at us, so vigilance, huh? That's 0 success on 4 dice for Julian.
That's 0 success on 8 dice for Lucius.
So...
Would either of you like to push that roll?
Wow.
Can I use... I think I'd like to, if I could, you utilize unwavering calm. Lucius needs to kind of center himself, just...
Yep, sure thing.
This is... You've seen bodies, you've seen, you can find that there is an answer here that you can find, and he's just trying to just push out kind of all the noise and just be like, you just focus on what's around you, what you can see.
Absolutely. Feel free to roll just 2 more dice first.
Sure. And no success on those 2 extra dice.
All right. Do you want to push it with a +2 bonus?
There is a dead body that is split in half in the middle of the road in a town that we know does not like the hotel we're staying at, and we are outsiders. Yeah, it would make sense to push this. I really don't want to push.
I believe in you. There you go.
So on 10 dice, 3 success.
All right. So you and Julian are speaking, kind of leaning close to each other. And then in the edge of your lantern light, you spot him. There is a tiny figure, probably the size of a rat, wearing a pointed red conical hat and dressed in a little jacket. Dr. Jensen, you've seen creatures like this before. It's a vatir. And it's light enough that it's able to stand on the snow and not actually sink through it.
Without trying to move the lantern too much to give away, I will kind of tilt towards Julian. Julian, I think I see a vatir, and he'll try and subtly, with the hand that's not holding the lantern, kind of just point in the direction, just trying to be more subtle about it, not tip that they can see it yet, if it might scare it off.
Vatir? Huh.
And Julian, as soon as Dr. Jensen points it out, you're able to see it as well. And another little one runs over to it. this one that looks kind of like a sparrow in a sort of medieval peasant dress. You watch the two of them whisper for a moment, and then suddenly they run off, leaving your lantern light.
So I am thinking back to when we first encountered them, and I'm closing my eyes, trying to remember all of those things that Sophie told us about Vatir.
Mm-hmm.
So as I remember, they can turn into small animals,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think we learned that they could shapeshift into like a human form.
Mm-mm.
It would have to be something much smaller. I kind of get my face scrunched up as I'm trying to remember all of this, and so I kind of lean over to Dr. Jensen. The Vatir, Sophie told us about these. They could transform into into small animals, but I also remember her telling us something about like if they got offended, they can lay down curses and they can burn down a building. Were those people we were talking to earlier threatening about burning down the hotel?
Yes, they mentioned that they would probably like seeing it go up in flames.
Do we know how long ago this hotel was built here? Is this a new establishment?
Very new. So this was made probably 2 to 4 years ago.
Oh boy. I don't know if this is... Avatir couldn't do this to Olga, but if Catherine built the hotel in their home, she could have offended them. That would not bode well for her or the hotel.
Now, Phoenix,
Mm-hmm.
could I get a logic check test from you?
Logic. Sure.
And Dr. J can roll one as well if you'd like. Although he's got some penalties at the moment.
Doesn't have much left to give.
0 success on 3 dice.
0 success on 3 dice.
I'll go ahead and push the roll here. This seems like it might be important. Seeing as how I am trying to channel Sophie a little bit here,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the appropriate option here is to get angry.
Makes sense.
I'll try that one more time.
It's how Sophie gets things done.
That is 1 success on the next 3 dice.
Excellent. Julian is kind of racking his brain around this, thinking, could the Vatir be responsible? Could they somehow have done this? And then it clicks. When Vatir are respected and treated well, they are beneficial household spirits. They can do things like help maintain a property, help keep everything clean and swept, even if there is only one person who is trying to do it. They could change all of your kerosene lamps and keep them ready for you and lit, even without a person there to keep maintaining them.
Okay.
And those 2 Vatir that you saw were running back in the direction of the hotel.
So as I'm like musing about burning things down and what could have done this, I'm kind of middle of the sentence and I just stop. Or maybe they actually... Olga worked for the library. She knew what she was doing. She could have befriended them. That would explain how all the work's getting done over at the hotel.
That is a possibility. And if she befriended them, that might explain why, if they came here and saw this, they would scurry back to let the rest of them know.
Do you all head back to the hotel?
Before we do, is this... So you had mentioned that this is basically a fishing village that kind of shuts down in the off season.
Yep.
Is it a big enough town that we know that we would figure there'd be like a constable or a sheriff?
Yeah.
If so, there would basically only be one. It's much more likely that if they had a problem, they would need to send someone out to Bellingham.
Well, and in any case, I guess even then the proper thing would be we would know who it was. We'd have to go find someone who did,
Mm-hmm.
And the only person right now that we know that we can talk to about this is Lisa back at the hotel. So I guess it makes sense to head back that way and not to be seen hanging around a
Dead body.
eviscerated corpse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Actually, Bill, since you happen to use that exact specific language, I'll give you one detail that you would have noticed with your investigation test.
Okay.
Dr. Jensen actually kind of muses that aloud, and then he looks down. This isn't an eviscerated corpse. There are no intestines or entrails. They're just gone.
God damn it, Lucius. How do you miss something like that? He'll turn to Julian. As much as I know you don't like to, take a look. Do you notice anything missing? And he won't really he'll put Julian out of his misery so that he doesn't
Yeah, I start trying to you see me taking a couple of deep breaths to work it up and look again at this.
She's missing her entrails.
What?
The viscera, everything that should have been out. And it'll kind of just, for lack of a thing he'll just kind of gesture out around there's just blood in the snow. There's nothing, which means there's something going on here.
Ooh, that's not a Vatir that's gonna do that.
I don't know a curse that would do that either, but I think we need to get back to the hotels as soon as we can.
I agree, and I kind of force myself to look back over at this mess. Dr. Jensen, I never met her, but she was part of the library. Did we just leave her out in the snow? I don't know what we would do with her, but we can't just leave her out in the snow like this, can we?
He'll kind of look at Julian. You're right. And not that he wants to do this, but he will hand the lantern over to Julian and kind of take off his jacket and try and
Cover the body as best he can.
Cover the body. But not that he expects Julian to be... He would at least try and just, as respectfully as he can, just make it kind of whole and then just use...
Gross.
Thank you for the sound effects there, Brian.
That's what I'm here for.
Holy work by Brian Kershaw.
Yes. Together and then cover with the coat and then just kind of we kind of need to make it back now.
Yeah, I shake my head. That's just wrong. But yeah, absolutely turned. I don't know what else we could do for this here. So
we can send for, I don't know what authorities, but we're not going to be helping anyone here.
Yeah.
Least of all her.
Yeah.
The pair of you hurry back towards the hotel. Dr. Jensen trying to clutch his arms around himself and keep himself as warm as he can.
Oh, I'm kicking you open that door as soon as I get to the hotel.
Well, before you do...
Oh, no.
You get to the front of the hotel, and you spot a handful of Vatir, who are on the edge of the candlelight. All of them point at you all, and then rush off, not heading into the hotel, but towards a small cabin towards the back.
They pointed at us and then ran to the cabin?
Mm-hmm. And you can see there are lights on in the cabin and a little bit of smoke coming up from a small chimney.
Kind of between chattering teeth and just kind of his hands and his armpits. As much as I want to go warm up, I think we might need to go check out what's going on in that cabin.
Yeah.
So, kind of haphazardly rush towards the warmth.
All right, we cut away from Julian and Dr. Jensen trudging through the snow and into that warm cabin. Zach, tell me a little bit about Tobias Pierce.
You see Tobias sitting in a kind of hand-carved looking rocker in front of the hearth that he has going. He looks a lot like just tanned leather, wrinkles setting deep into his cheeks, kind of getting a little jowly in his age. He has very patchy graying stubble and short, shorn, more salt than pepper hair. He looks kind of like bones that have been haphazardly thrown into a bag of skin.
Glit.
Oh my goodness.
all bones, this man. He's just kind of sitting. He's got a little bit of whittling that he's been doing, and he notices the Vatir coming in to the cabin.
They kind of wiggle under your doorway, which is just wide enough that a tiny creature could slip through, but not so wide that it lets out most of the heat.
He reaches into his pocket and pulls out like a small little nib of cheese and offers it to the Vatir.
One of them reaches up its tiny hands. There are people. They're headed this way.
Mm-hmm.
Something bad has happened.
Is it Catherine?
No.
No.
I think they're men people.
Men people? No, is the bad thing... Did it happen to Catherine?
Oh, no.
Oh. Okay. He gets up. He grabs this very pelty looking coat from a hook that he's placed on the wall, puts it on and opens the door to find...
And just as he opens it, you see Julian's hand on its way to go knock on it.
He takes a very gruff, discerning look at the two of you, landing on you, Lucius, and says, "You're not wearing a coat. You'll catch a death."
No shit.
Come in, I suppose. He motions you into the cabin.
Lucius will push Julian out of the way at this point to get into towards the warmth.
It's quite sparse. There's a small wood-burning stove, a small table, a bed pushed up to the side. You can see over in the corner there's a shotgun kind of leaned up against the wall. Above the stove is a single hunting trophy, a snarling wolf's head. But beyond that, the cabin is very, very sparse.
Lucius will just go, almost hug the stove at this point.
Careful, you'll get burned. The small folk, they say something's bad's happened, but not Catherine.
That little rat-like Vatir nods when you say that, and then it rips the piece of cheese in half.
Oh.
And then looks down at it like, "Rrr."
Oh.
Seeing the Vatir do that with the piece of cheese, and obviously now Tobias is kind of speaking and looking
interacting
to him
with
as well
them, yeah.
there. You can see them.
I can.
The Vatir all stare at you and Dr. Jensen for a second, look at each other, look back at you, and then just take off in random directions.
I take it you can see them as well.
Yeah. We're from the library down over in Ballard.
The what?
You've never heard of this.
What's a library? I've spent most of my time out in the woods.
Well, a library is a place it's got a you know what? Don't worry about it. We are we're a group that I'm sorry, what's your name?
Sorry. Most of my time out in the woods, I forget my manners. Tobias Pierce. I'm the groundskeeper here.
Oh, Lisa mentioned a groundskeeper. It's nice to
Hmm.
meet you. I'm Julian Benavides. You may have heard of me, may not if you've been out in the woods. Don't worry about it. That over there is Dr. Lucius Jensen. He's very pleased to meet you. And Doc, you're a little close to that stove. We really
I look a
should
bit,
have.
shaken. You first time seeing blood?
Not necessarily the first time seeing blood, but first time. I will just kind of pantomime like what the Vatir was doing with the cheese. First time seeing anything like that.
Hmm.
Do you know what? Do you know what happened out there?
Tobias hasn't seen anything recently that he thought would do this.
Mhm. Oh, no.
No, just the small folk. But I've been worried about Catherine. She's been gone an awful long time, and it's unlike her to be gone this long without reason.
Yeah, Lisa had mentioned that she had been gone for about a week or so.
Yes.
Oh.
I suppose I should see the body. He walks over to the hook that he got his coat on, and there's another thinner, more just like leather coat that he passes to you, Lucius. Is show me what you found. Might be able to suss something out.
Kind of now getting a little bit of the heat back into him. Lucius will very graciously take the coat and quickly put it on. Thank you. To Tobias, you said.
Yes.
As my friend Julian said, I am Dr. Lucius Jensen. And he'll kind of extend and shake his hand out to shake your hand.
People are often at a loss of words after meeting me in person. It's okay. It's not
You
a
do
problem.
have that effect, I suppose.
You know, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
But yes, we were here to meet a friend of ours, or rather a connection with our association, the library, and as Julian kind of referred, we unfortunately found her in a just defiled state. He'll kind of just pause for a moment, then look at scene just to see if how comfortable Julian's looking, assuming not, just given the
Gruesomeness.
the gruesomeness of the thing. He's just like, if you want to go see the body, I guess we'll show you. I will warn you though, it's not a
It's
pleasant sight.
It's in quite the state.
It wouldn't do to leave it out in the cold. We have a root cellar we could place it in until we can get down to Bellingham and get the sheriff. But you say you work with a group that knows the monsters, like the small folk, but not not them. They're quite nice, actually.
Yes, they're known as Vasen. I don't know if you've ever heard that term.
Hmm.
Our resident expert is actually on a little bit of a leave out in Scandinavia right now, but
we have encountered these the Vatir, the little people, or small people as you call them. We have encountered their kind before. It seems you are on good terms with them.
Aye, they help around the hotel, especially during the winter, especially with Miss Catherine out. It's a lot for me and Lisa to take care of on our own. So you're kind to them, and they're kind right back. So Voss and my folks came over from the old country, though I heard the word before it.
It's probably been several years, though.
Yeah.
Maybe decades.
Yeah. Are they truly out here? They think it's one of those that did this?
Lucius will kind of pause for a moment. As a a practicer of medicine, I have no earthly idea what would have caused the wounds to poor Olga.
One of the artists.
Being a member of the library and what we've seen, I can only imagine that it has to be some sort of Vossen encounter that caused this. I can't fathom a human doing this and having it appear as it did. It just defies all reason. It defies all logic.
It was one of the artists, Miss Krause, you said?
Yes. Did you know Olga?
Not well. I know the guests who stay at the hotel. I try and help Lisa where I can. He holds up his knobbly hands, as not as useful as I used to be, but I try and remember the guests at the very least. You're staying here then?
We are.
Yes.
Well.
Speaking of which, before we head back out, excuse me for just one. I'll be back in a moment. I'm just going to run back to the hotel for a quick moment.
Okay. Well, me and the doctor could go grab the body. You said you're squeamish, so
I don't have Dr. Jensen's experience among gruesome corpses. That would be fair.
Or enthusiasm.
Or the enthusiasm for it. If it is not going to inconvenience our game master to split the party, I would be okay with that.
Nope, that'd be just fine.
Okay.
So Julian heads back into the hotel as a couple of Vatir kind of like crane their necks from the window to watch him. Dr. Jensen and Tobias head out towards the carriage depot.
Tobias will grab the shotgun first before heading out into the night.
And as the two groups kind of split up, neither of them notice, far in the shadows, amidst all the falling snow, the pair of glowing red eyes that are watching them. But we'll find out what that is next time.
Damn it, Brian.
Dun, dun.
Dun, dun. Thank you all so much. This has been a blast, and I cannot wait for you to find out what comes next.
Oh, man.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Spirits and Monsters of Old Seattle. Our theme song is Myths and Legends by Robert Bruckmeyer and is playing right now. Our episode music is from the incredible Andreas Lundstrom's RPG soundtracks, and you can hear more of his work on the Sweden Rolls podcast. Our editor is Hannah Cheney. If you've enjoyed the show, it would mean the world to all of us if you could share it with a friend, or an acquaintance, a stranger, even an enemy. We're not super picky. However, it is the single best way to help us get new listeners and continue to grow. If you've really enjoyed the show and you want to let the world know just how much, we are launching a storefront where you can buy some cool gear and a Patreon. You'll find the links in our show notes. We'll be looking forward to sharing more stories of the Vossen in the Pacific Northwest. But until then, remember the motto of the library. Fear gives way to knowledge. Knowledge gives way to wisdom. And wisdom gives way to the truth. Until next time.